Talk more. Good to go? Wow. I guess. Hey everyone, welcome to Stonewall Collective. We at Main Street Guns and Range today with Richard, joining us from Whisperteck. Nice to see you, Richard.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. We've just went to the range and shot a couple of your suppressors. We wanted to see and ask you, how did you start doing suppressors?
So I saw a need in the market space, and I thought we should develop suppressors based around science. Okay. And so having spent 20 years in the Marine Corps, developed weapon systems, missiles, rockets, hypersonics, I thought that what I saw in the marketplace, everybody talking about science, about quiet. And yet, having been a Marine and qualified in the range every year, I knew there was more to it than that. I was dismayed when I saw other people shooting with suppressors and the point of impact moved significantly, and yet people were happy with that. So we set out to design some parameters of what a suppressor should do. And we came up with what we call the 5 pillars of suppression. Number 1, we have to keep or enhance host gun accuracy. And we do. We have less than quarter POI shift on our weapons, and many times 0. FBI sniper shooter stuff because they have 0 POI shift with 300 on-offs on their sniper rifles. Number 2, we want to take away the flash and the flame. Sounds great for combat, but what about civilian use? Well, if you actually have to get up in your at night in the home, go stand in the hallway, and you've actually had to pull the trigger on a standard 9mm, you'd be blind and deaf. Using a suppressor, it would take away the flash, reduce the noise, and you still have situational awareness of what's going on. Number 3 is recoil to the shooter. Many women don't like shooting because of this loud bang and the recoil, and you have to push the weapon back into the sight picture. Well, we capture some of that gas pushing the bullet forward and create a forward force on the weapon equal to half the recoil pulse. And by doing that, it recoils flat and it recoils less, so you actually can keep the weapon in the sight picture and not have to push it back down every single time. Number 4 is gas to the shooter, especially on AR platforms. We actually capture the gas in suppressor, hold it for about 3 milliseconds, and then flow it out the front of the weapon, creating a vacuum in the chamber. So you have less gas to your face and to the shooter and the ejection port than you do sometimes with an unsuppressed weapon. Number 5 is sound. Sound in 2 ways. On an AR with supersonic rounds, we drop the sound to 140 or less. On a 9mm, it's in the 130s, and on 22, it's in the 120s. And then we clip the high frequencies by using fluid dynamics and stoichiometry to be able to make those high frequency sound waves work against themselves in the suppressor so you have a low tone coming out. Because the same sound level at different frequencies rings your ears or sounds louder to the human than it does actually to a dB meter. So we take all of those 5 of those things and try and design them into the smallest, lightest weight suppressors that we can that fit on the weapon system of the caliber that we choose.
And all of the suppressors that you make, they are titanium, right?
They are. They're all 3D printed titanium. So we've developed a new manufacturing process of using 3D printed titanium that's unique to us. And so we're able to print this, and we can, because we're printing at 1,000ths of an inch layers, we can use some unique geometry in here that allows me to cause the gas to work for me, that allows me using stoichiometry to extinguish the flame, and to create all 5 of those things inside this baffle stack that you couldn't do if you tried to machine it by yourself.
That is very nice. I like the geometry for sure. And it's extremely light.
Very light.
And you mentioned that because of the size, you don't have to use suppressor sights.
This is the only 9mm in the market space that's small enough in diameter that you don't need suppressor sights, and it has the smallest Nielsen device on the market space, which is also crafted out of titanium and stainless steel and our own custom spring on the inside. So this screws onto any 9mm, and you don't need a booster, you don't need a suppressor sights, and this simply screws into the back. And then we also have a direct thread if you want to put it on a subgun.
And it comes in a package if you're buying a suppressor? Okay, that's very nice because you don't have to...
And then you can actually take this front part off and make it shorter. So you have a small device now on the end of your pistol. We see too many times is this huge suppressor on the end of a pistol, actually larger than the weapon itself. Removing this front device only loses you about 3 decibels, which is hard to hear with the normal ear. Shooting it with this baffle stack inside, which you can then take out, put an ultrasonic and clean it, and put it back in. And our 22 comes apart the same way. So you can take the insides and clean it on a
And since it's made of titanium, you can then use your normal commercial chemicals to clean it
You
up.
can use anything you want to be able to clean it.
Okay.
We find that CLR tends to work the best, but everybody has their favorite.
Okay. Is there anything that you wouldn't recommend cleaning it with, or it doesn't matter, titanium?
Use whatever you want.
Awesome.
Use whatever you want. And then our 5.56 and 30 cal are also hub compatible. So it comes with our own muzzle brake, which is also 3D printed. And this entire thing is 3D printed. But if you have another hub device or a QD, this is designed to accept 99% of the QDs on the market space. But it comes with its own built-in muzzle brake. So if you buy this, you can actually screw it on your weapon and use it.
Okay. If you were using something else, let's say if we use another brand muzzle device, will it affect the performance?
No.
No.
Well, it depends on the quality of the QD device you're using.
Of course.
But the suppressor itself will do what it's supposed to do. But we have a lot of space in here because some QD devices are rather big.
Yep.
And take up a lot of space. So we've allocated space in here for that. Then we also have a version of this that doesn't have this big empty space, and it's just simply a direct mount.
Oh, amazing.
But this does come with our own muzzle brake, so it's ready to shoot out of the box.
And what's the MSRP of the...
So these are $9.99. 5.56 and 30 cal are $9.99. 9 mils are $8.99, and the 22 is $4.99.
Okay, it's very competitive.
And then we've taken the same technology and built it into an integrally suppressed weapon, which is one of my favorites. Because we've done a 10.5-inch barrel, we've designed our own gas block, and then the suppressor starts here all the way up, and we've got this extra space inside to be able to capture more sound and deaden it even more. The good thing about ours is a very thin handguard, and you can unscrew this tube, clean the suppressor, and put the tube back on.
Okay.
Most integral suppressors you can't take apart and clean, and you can never get a snake or a cloth up in there to clean the barrel and clean the suppressor. The entire upper comes like this. It's pin and welded, so it's a one-stamp gun.
Oh, that's amazing, especially now when the stamps are...
The stamps are going to go to zero,
for free.
But still you don't want to have to do it twice.
I wanted to ask you, if it gets hot when you use a integral...
If you have your integral and it gets hot and you're squeezing it hard and your hand might get inside, all of them come with a thermal guard. It comes with every integral. So you put this on just with Velcro, and it'll keep your hand from burning. The inside of this has aerospace aluminum thermal guard like we use in jet engines.
Okay. So it'll definitely protect you.
Simply wrap it around there, and you can shoot it all you want, and you'll never feel it.
And it comes standard with the package?
Goes with it in the package, absolutely.
Amazing. Are you planning to do any maybe 300 blackouts?
We have 300 blackout already.
Oh,
5.56 and 300 blackout. And 300 blackout is my favorite. I've got a tree about 100 yards away in my yard, and when you shoot it, you hear the bolt cycle, and you wait, and you hear the round hit the tree. It's fun.
That is amazing. From your development process, what was the biggest challenge creating the suppressors?
The biggest challenge was trying to get all 5 of those parameters, accuracy, recoil, gas, sound, into the smallest, lightest package that we could. Because the bigger you make it, the easier it is to do. The smaller you make it, the harder it is to take those trade-offs and make it fit in something that is small enough in diameter that you don't need suppressor sights. It's always easier to go big. Making it small, making it light, making it short, and still accomplishing all those things is the hardest part. We spent a year in development building, testing, until we thought we had the best mix of all 5 of those things.
Well, parameters. And I see you have phenomenal, very bright colors. Can you explain how do you coding them?
We have a good friend, Nicole, who you'll see soon, came down from Illinois, and I'll let her tell her story. But she thought there was an opportunity here for women shooters, especially people enjoy shooting by using a suppressor as opposed to shooting unsuppressed. And in doing so, we were at the NRA show, and this one woman came up and was looking at this and said, what else do you have? And I thought she meant calibers, and she said, no, colors, because I have different outfits to go to the range with. So it kind of opened her eyes, being dumb guys, that women want something other than just a black tube. And so with Nicole and Nancy and Karen's leadership, we've come out with Whisper Chicks, which is a women's line of suppressors designed around women's shooters, women's colors, and how they want to look and feel on the range.
Amazing. And the only other question I have, if you have a lot of cycling, a lot of shooting through the suppressor, will it affect the color? Will it
Sometimes
degrade?
it will, sometimes it won't. If you burn your Cerakote off, send it back to us, we'll re-Cerakote it for you. If you're that much of a shooter, we'll fix it for you. And all of our suppressors come with an unlimited warranty. If you break it, we'll fix it. If you're driving nails with it, we'll have a conversation.
Okay. Only other question, if you don't mind, about the warranty. Let's say I have a buffalo strike. Will that be a warranty situation, or?
We'll get it back. We'll take a look at it. We'll try and determine why you had a buffalo strike. Were you using someone else's QD and you didn't put it on right? So we'll have a conversation about why the baffle strike occurred, try and make sure it didn't happen again, and then we'll fix it for you. So we'll be shortly adding a dedicated SumGud 9mm, a 338, and a 50 cal to the lineup.
Interesting. Are you hoping for a military contract on the 50 cals, or this is more civilian oriented?
It's more civilian use right now. The military, as you know, are very long sales cycles. But we're also working with some other police departments and other folks that are looking for 50 cals and integrals to go in police cars.
Okay, that absolutely makes sense. From shooting the 5.56, I was definitely impressed with the amount of gas coming back. And we shot a lot, and it wasn't that gassy at all. And we shot a regular 5.56, 16-inch. So that is a definitely interesting 3D printing that you're doing.
Thank you. Well, part of the design is to be able to capture that gas and not shove it back to your face. Many suppressors simply restrict the aperture and try and push everything back to make it quiet. But that when you get that gas back in your face, and after 20 rounds, some of those gas constituents are toxic, and you keep shoving them back in your face, it's not good for you.
And I know in the industry you cannot use a flow-through word, but is there a system like a flow-through within those suppressors?
Well, flow-through has been trademarked by a smart company, so I'll give it good credit for that. We use a process called gas path mapping, and that's what you use when we design jet engines and rocket engines to know exactly where the gas is going to go and how it's going to get there so that we can be able to make it do what we want. And we use that process, gas path mapping, to be able to cause the gas in the suppressor to do what we want it to do, not come back to your face, but be able to get stuck in there for a couple of milliseconds and then flow out the front.
And another thing that I noticed, it's almost like a little muzzle brake in there. That I've never seen in any other suppressors. Can you explain how that works?
That's part of flash suppressant. So because many people put this on a shorter barrel rifle, most rounds are designed for a 26-inch barrel. So you still have combustion going on in a 10.5 or a 14-inch barrel. And we want to expend all of that combustion before it comes out the front. So the things you saw on the front, and even the serrations here that look like threads, are designed to create a disruption in the wave and extinguish that flame before it comes out the front.
That is amazing. And you're based out of Georgia, am I correct?
We are. We're in Gainesville, Georgia.
That's amazing.
Made in the USA.
Awesome. Well, I'm very excited to see your products and whatever else comes out, and I hope it goes up.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.